Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
And for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. The way we format our show is first we start out with some news. We have a whole lot of news this week because of E3. But again, our news typically ranges from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. And we follow up with our comic book pull list of the week.
100% huge on E3. Even though we mainly get the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo console, so the Wii U in this case, we actually do have a bit of Xbox news, which is what we're going to open with. And from there, we'll move into the comic book news, because we did have the DC solicitations. On Twitter, I did say that 100% of our comic reviews were DC, but I did forget about the Lumberjanes comic that we do have reviewing later on, and another indie book coming your way. But again, we are opening on Xbox with their Elite Wireless controller, which comes with much more than that rumored stereo headphone jack.
So, a lot of things that you can do with this controller. First off, players can swap up to 6 stainless steel thumbsticks on their controller.
Those thumbsticks actually come in different lengths, sizes, and heights.
You have paddles on the back, allow you to do more intricate maneuvers without taking your thumb off the thumbstick.
And the new triggers actually fire faster and come with a hair trigger lock that lets you change your rate of fire.
You can also assign buttons with this controller, as well as adjust the sensitivity based on what game you're playing. So you can create up to 255 controller profiles under your favorite settings.
This controller will cost you $149.99, so $150 for the Xbox Elite Wireless controller, the brand new one. Is this for the casual gamer? Is this for the mass market out there?
Well, this is clearly not for the casual gamer, because as a casual gamer, I will not pay $150 for a controller. I'm going to go buy the $25 Pelican brand.
The one that you know will last you 3 months?
Right, exactly. And then I'll just buy another one. I think this is very smart. I'm sure that there is a market for this. I am not that market.
I personally think that market is not big enough to warrant a controller like this. The Call of Duty professional players, which is what I feel like most of their sales are going to go to, I feel like they already have their own favorite controllers that they like to use as it is, or their own accessories. We don't even know if they'll allow the use of this professional controller in the actual tournaments, in the MLG. It's still a little bit tough to say, and I think it's a bit of a risk to put a premium controller out there that may not take.
It's all going to come down to their marketing. Can they market it to make people think that they need this, and how could they have lived their life without it? Then yes, it'll sell.
Yeah, they'll have to market it where they'll have a player using a regular Xbox controller and another one using the premium Elite Wireless controller, and then seeing how they both perform differently side to side. They can do something funny where one of them is like, oh man, yeah, and the other's like, oh, you gotta get the better controller, or something like that.
So what they're gonna do is pick someone like Kelly, who can't play worth shit, and be like, here's this regular controller, use it, and we'll record you.
You're like, I'm playing like this because of this controller. It's not my skill at all.
I turn to the camera and be like, nah, I'm just shitty.
As a Call of Duty player, I wouldn't jump on anything like this if there was a version like that for the PlayStation 4. But then again, I don't play professionally.
But if you're 13...
If you're 13 and you have expendable income, I don't know. That's still $150. I would never get a $150 controller at 13.
I was going to say something terrible. Let's move on.
All right. We also have the biggest news of E3 for Xbox. This is actually what people are saying is the right move with Microsoft, and they want PlayStation to do the same, which so far they haven't yet. And that is that the Xbox One will be backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 games later this year.
Players who own Xbox 360 physical games will be able to download the game from the DVD onto the Xbox One.
While not all games will be available for this service, Microsoft says that about 100 games will be available when this update launches this holiday season.
Referring to the PlayStation Now service because they just can't leave it alone. Microsoft boss Phil Spencer says, "We won't charge you to play the games you already own."
They're both like two high school girls.
Yes.
Fighting, arguing.
Exactly.
Do you still remember the very infamous thing that PlayStation did? I think it was last year, where they're like, this is how you share games, and it's just one player handing the PlayStation 4 game onto another player. which they've all gone reverse on that.
Right.
But this is amazing. This is great. When I used to work at GameStop and I used to sell the Xbox Ones, a lot of them would tell me, is this backwards compatible? Both systems, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and I'd tell them both, no, it's not. I'm sorry. It was a bigger deal for the Xbox 360 owners because there are 360s, more of those out there than PlayStation 3s. So there were more players worried about their games that they already own and not being able to play them on the Xbox One.
Well, yeah, because their 360 broke. So
if you got a launch one, maybe. But they also were, more importantly, they weren't able to trade in their old system towards the new one. Even if it was like just $60 or $80 that's coming off the price, that still helps. Every bit helps when you're buying an expensive system. So that was a huge blow for both companies, but more so with Xbox, again, just because there was more of them out there. And they've now gone ahead and corrected this, and it is only for 100 games, but those 100 games are first-party games, so very important titles for the Xbox owners, one of which is Mass Effect 1. They've actually done a comparison on both, and it runs a lot smoother on the Xbox One than the 360. You have that extra power in your system. It can render those graphics quicker, cut down on the load times. It's going to improve the experience of 360 games on the Xbox One.
I think it's a smart move. If they still had some people who hadn't bought the system, maybe they're going to be buying it now because, hey, I can still play my older games. So it's smart. I am not an Xbox person, and I don't really play that many games.
Me neither in general. I'm very selective now when it comes to these games.
Can my 3DS be backwards compatible? Can they make that happen?
It is backwards compatible with the DS games.
I'm talking like way back to Game Boy Color backwards compatible.
Yeah, but you have to download the game and pay money.
Yeah, no.
That's
But
what you have to
Xbox doesn't make you do that.
You're right. Phil Spencer said so.
He should have thrown Nintendo in there. And Nintendo.
That would have been like picking on the little kid in the corner. Like, nah, don't be mean.
We're talking about high school girls here. Nothing is out of the question.
No one is safe. And there's a very important Kickstarter that launched at E3.
The Shenmue 3 Kickstarter has launched at a tentative release date of December 2017 for the PS4 and PC release.
The goal is 2 million, which it has already reached. It surpassed 2 million.
Well, good for them.
Shenmue 3 is something players have been asking for years. And it seems like this E3, there's a trend here where players have been asking for a certain title, a certain sequel, or a remake, which we will talk about, and then they're getting it. They got it at E3. Their biggest wishes. Games that you thought were canceled have been announced.
Okay, I asked for Pokemon Snap, didn't happen. And I asked for Yellow Version Remake, and that didn't happen either. So they're listening to the wrong people when they're making these games.
They listened to the right guy because I got what I wanted.
Nope, they didn't listen to me though.
They left out the Kellis.
And everybody knows that when there's a relationship, the woman always gets her way. That's the truth.
We'll get to Nintendo soon. But Shenmue 3, huge title for the Kickstarter campaign. It is already a success. I did not personally back it up. I did not own Shenmue 1 or 2, but I did play them both. My friend had a Dreamcast, and I was able to play them both. And the Xbox, Shenmue 2 came out on that. And I was able to play them. They were fun, beat-em-up games, interesting storytelling. Some of the dialogue was a little weird. But I know people want Shenmue 3, and it looks like they're getting it finally. That sort of speaks to the era that we live in now, where when you were we were younger, they actually had to pitch their ideas to a company and try to get funding. If they said no, that was it. Now we have things like Indiegogo, things like Kickstarter, where developers themselves can form a team, leave a company if they wanted to, and say, we're going to put out not Banjo-Kazooie, and it's called Yooka-Laylee, and this is going to be a huge success. And you can do that now, or you can have Shenmue 3. That's a real game. I actually backed it up.
Really?
$24, yep, digital download on PS4, and it's gone huge. I think it made over 2 million as well.
It's like Banjo-Kazooie.
It's the same developers from Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
But since they were making a Banjo-Kazooie game because they believe that the platformer titles are done, they went ahead and brought their own team, brought them back to development, and they made Yooka-Laylee, and it has like very similar font to Banjo-Kazooie. You play as a chameleon who has a bat as his partner, and the bat is what flies you around. And it's a 3D platformer, and they reached their goal within a day.
That's crazy. Does it have like the little tiki men, and you jump on a box and they go, "Hoomnaga"?
I think you're thinking of Crash.
Oh man, I am.
How's it go again?
No, now there's pressure. was a one-time deal, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
You gotta rewind it.
No, don't rewind. Just keep on listening.
So it's great. Great news. Great for everyone.
They also announced a game that you're very excited for.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very not excited for. In fact, I will burn it as it enters our home. Mass Effect Andromeda.
You will burn it, and that it will come into our home so fast that there will be an atmosphere that it will break and burn up a little bit in. But just enough so that the plastic just disintegrates and just the game is set.
Wait, I gotta think of a new Mass Effect Diarrheameda.
That's not it. It's called Mass Effect Andromeda.
Nope, Mass Effect Diarrheameda.
Diarrheameda. They didn't title it Mass Effect 4 because they do want to distance themselves from the original trilogy, because does not tie into that adventure. This is going to be a brand new adventure that takes place many years away from the original Mass Effect games.
You will play as a human, female or male, as you explore a brand new galaxy known as Andromeda Diarrheameda.
Through it all, you will have a new team of adventurers to work with, learn from, fight alongside of, and fall in love with.
Ooh, love.
It's one of my favorite parts of those games, actually.
This will release holiday 2016.
See, Mass Effect is to me what Fire Emblem is to you. I like to set up the relationships in the Mass Effect games. I always look at the different crew members and I'm like, how will you help me? Except
when you play Mass Effect, I don't exist. When I play Fire Emblem, you still exist.
I get into my games.
You do.
At least it's not every single month when a new game comes out and I get into each one.
But
it's
no,
like once every quarter.
You start playing your Mass Effect, and I'll be like, hey, what do you want for dinner? And then you play for 10 more minutes, and then you go, huh?
I'm saving the galaxy. I'm saving Andromeda this time.
You're saving Diarrheameda.
They haven't said yet if you're going to play a descendant to Shepard or someone that relates to the original team. If I were them, I would completely cut it off and maybe leave a little bit of, like, a couple of hints here and there that adventure did happen. And some people are saying that you should be able to play as something more than a human. Like, for the first time, maybe you play an alien. That would be awesome. If you can customize an alien, that'd be great. But I'd be just as happy as playing a human again, just because the mechanics were so good and it was such a fun trilogy. I'm ready for another 3 Mass Effect games.
I am not. Also, another game that will steal your precious time away from me. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 will be getting DLC first on the PlayStation 4 as opposed to the traditional Xbox first releases.
PS4 owners will also receive the multiplayer beta first coming in August.
Man, that's not a lot of time. It's good knowing you.
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, looks like Sony paid more money maybe this time than Microsoft did, or maybe they went after the PlayStation 4 owners because those sold a little bit quicker out the gate. I'm not sure what it is. I personally don't think that Call of Duty is as important as it was like when Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 was about. So maybe the prices came down enough to where Sony's like, yeah, sure, we'll pay for the first, or maybe Microsoft pay. I don't know what the workings are. This is all pure speculation.
Well, okay, you have to think in high school girl terms.
All right.
So we're going to call Call of Duty Susie. So they promised Susie. Call of Susie. So PS4 promised Susie that she would get her nails done and take her to the mall for some froyo. And Xbox only promised Susie that they could watch a movie and have a girls' night. That's boring. I would much rather have some froyo.
And that's exactly what happened here. Doesn't affect me too much one way or another. When I did have Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1, the fact that they got the map packs first was fine with me because I was always busy playing the other ones, trying to earn my rank up to get the guns. For every single map pack of every single one of those Call of Duty games that I played, I was never like, damn, I want to get an Xbox first. So it's not going to be the same. It's going to be the same thing with when I have a PS4. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm glad I have a PS4, so I have these maps first. It's like, it doesn't matter. They're going to find...
No, you should do that. Throw it back in everybody else's face who did that to you.
Well, the way I thought is they can work out the kinks when it comes out on the Xbox One or whatever, and then when I get it on my PS3, like, I have a more seamless experience, even though it's different platforms. But I don't know. Either way, I'll probably end up getting the Season Pass. I'll play Black Ops 3. If anyone wants to play, let me know. If you have a PS4, let's do it.
So we talked earlier about the games that are being remade, that they're definitely listening to fans and what they want, and this announcement was huge.
Part of the Sony conference, 18 years 18 years.
That's an adult. One adult.
One adult after its original release on the PlayStation, Final Fantasy VII will be getting a full remake for the PlayStation 4, other platforms to follow.
Amazing.
Absolutely massive news.
Mm-hmm. So while Square Enix has released a trailer, according to a press release, they've just started production on it.
No release date yet has been given.
It's already sold out, though.
I say 2018. 2018 at the earliest.
I would go 2017.
This is Square Enix. This is the company that did Kingdom of Hearts 3.
Okay, then in 10 more years. So when the game has become a senior citizen and not just an adult, I will say 2017. But the game has already sold out, so sorry if you haven't pre-ordered it, because it's gone.
I was reading through the comments on how the internet has reacted to Final Fantasy VII. A couple years too late. I'm not excited for it anymore.
Yeah, you are.
And if they hadn't showed Final Fantasy VII, they would have been like, where's Final Fantasy VII? Where's my Final Fantasy VII remake?
Yep.
So, you got it. Quit bitching. No more whining. Big boys don't whine. I don't want to hear any more whining.
You're clearly an adult now if you played it the first time.
About Final Fantasy VII or Kingdom of Hearts 3.
You don't... What's it called?
Kingdom of Hearts 3. Now you're whining about the title.
You know what? Just like Ass Effect.
I did not whine about Ass Effect once.
Oh, so you do call it Ass Effect?
Nope.
You do agree that that's its name. You just called it Ass Effect.
Another title long in the making, The Last Guardian will release on the PlayStation 4 next year.
This looked amazing. You told me, oh, remember that Last Guardian game that was canceled? And I was like, yeah, I lied. I didn't remember what it was. But this looks so good. Like, this short little trailer had so many ups and downs and so much angst. Mm-hmm. And I care for these two characters already. And I saw like 6 minutes of them.
6 minutes of gameplay footage.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks about the same as what it looked a couple years ago when they showed it at E3. But they actually gave you some of the puzzle aspects, some of the things that you will be working with as you work with your Last Guardian. I'm assuming that's what they're referring to.
Your big old dog. Your wingling
big dog, deer thing.
Eagle dog.
Yep.
Eagle goat dog that I love. I love him. I was so nervous.
You know, at the end of it, every player is going to be sad.
Don't.
Because something's going to happen to that thing.
No, Eagle Goat Dog will live forever.
It will not.
Yes, you just leave Eagle
Yeah, if you don't finish the game.
You know what? And maybe I won't finish the game. Maybe I will just have sweet dreams where me and Eagle Goat Dog just fly into the sunset.
And that's how it should end.
You leave Eagle Goat... I called him evil.
No, now he's evil.
No, he's not. Well, I mean, good for him. Maybe we're both, just trying to take over the world and we're both evil.
So that is a title that people really did think was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Sony had let the expiration run on the actual game for the website, I think, for The Last Guardian. Something in the name they actually let go, and the people were like, yeah, it's fucking done.
They were just fooling us all, them bastards.
Well, the producers were still like, no, it's still coming, and no one believed them. They're like, no, I don't think it is. And they're like, oh shit, well, here you go. It's coming out next year. Full gameplay, done.
I want them to be like, JK. That's awesome, though. Cannot wait. Are you going to be picking this up?
I think I will. I never finished Shadow of the Colossus, and I never finished Eco either. So I don't know how I'll do with The Last Guardian, but I'll give it a shot.
I will be nervous the whole time because of my poor Eagle Goat Dog.
Yep.
And in the end, when we fly into the sunset, that's just what I'll believe happened. Finally, now we get into the good stuff. The things that I care about, not Ass Effect and Call of Duties. Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. Not Kingdom of Hearts. Kingdom Hearts.
So in this, you get way more gameplay footage than you got in the original Kingdom Hearts video that we got last year. And this one is very seamless in how they go from cutscene to actual fight. And it looks gorgeous. Like, we hadn't seen a Kingdom Hearts
beautiful
look anywhere near what this looks like. Even the remakes, the HD remakes of Kingdom Hearts 2, the 3DS titles, nowhere near what this is actually capable of. And you do get that real-time gameplay. And yeah, Goofy and Donald are back. You're fighting Heartless. You get summons. You get specials. You get different Keyblades. Your Keyblade fires bullets.
There's some Pokemans in there.
Yeah, I did want to see the frogs again, like in Kingdom Hearts 3DS, where you get to pick your own monsters.
Dream Drop Distance?
Yes, that's the one. I wanted to pick my frog guys again. I'm like, can I just get rid of Goofy, have a frog, and have Donald, and then have Sora? Like, that's the perfect team.
Which
right
frog
there.
would you pick? Frying Pan Frog?
Yeah, Chef Frog.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Chef
the one.
Frog.
He was absolutely the best. What'd you think of the trailer?
I thought it looked really cool. I'm very excited for this game. The only thing that threw me, like, this looks like it's going to be a much lighter game than the other two. If you notice, he's running around, and it felt like something out of a Sonic the Hedgehog level, because there were bright colors. Even the Heartless were brighter. So I'm very interested to see what the story is to go along with that, because I'm still playing through Kingdom Hearts 1 again. I think I'm in Hollow Bastion now. But you never saw anything that bright. It's all very gloomy, muted colors. So I'm hoping that lends to the story.
It could just be the first stage that they're finished with and they want to show. Mm-hmm. And typically in Kingdom Hearts, and really in video games in general, they do start off with a stage that's bright and light and kind of gets the fundamentals down for the actual player. But more importantly, no release date given for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Like 5 more years from now.
It just says now in development. A couple of years ago when we first heard about Kingdom Hearts 3, I did say 2016 at the earliest is what I said. And people thought I was fucking insane. They're like, no, they fucking showed it. It's going to come out next year. I'm like, no, absolutely not. 2016 at the earliest. And now I feel stupid for saying even next year, because it's not anywhere near coming out. That I'm also going to say 2018.
Really?
2018 for Final Fantasy VII, 2018 for Kingdom of Hearts 3.
I would say 2018 for Kingdom Hearts 3. But I'm still going to say 2017 for Final Fantasy VII.
See, I would have swapped those if I were you.
I'm not doing it. Let's make a bet. We're making a bet right here.
How much longer are you willing to wait for Kingdom Hearts 3?
Till I'm dead. I could be, like, on my, like, taking my last breath. And my great-grandkids could be like, Granny, what's your last wish? Hand me that controller. And I would play Kingdom Hearts 3 till I died.
Awesome.
Like, it just came out that day. And they're like, but Granny, this is my game. I'm like, nah, you little shit. This is my game.
I've been waiting years for this.
Been waiting since long before you were born.
I've been waiting 4 Final Fantasy VIIs for this.
I definitely think Final Fantasy is going to come out before that, though.
All right, we'll see.
Because I think Kingdom Hearts has proven to us, 1, that it takes forever, and 2, that they know we'll wait for it, so they don't really care that it's going to take forever.
Now we can move on forward with more stuff we're going to spend money on, and that is the Nintendo stuff. That is probably the biggest portion of the news from E3 that we do have for you brokettes out there.
Mm-hmm. So in celebration of Mother's 20th anniversary, an official English translation of the first Mother game has arrived to the Wii U's Virtual Console as Earthbound Beginnings.
Mother first released on the Famicom back in 1989.
This game looks spooky as shit.
It is a darker game. It is an RPG. That is where Lucas came from in the Super Smash Bros. Series, as well as Ness back in the N64 when we first saw him, or at least I did. But now with the Wii U's Virtual Console, we can have some of these older games reach the North American audience. So this is big for the hardcore Nintendo fans, which I wouldn't say I am. As much as I like Nintendo, I'm not going out and buying Mother or Earthbound Beginnings or anything like that.
Man, I thought it looked kind of cool. I wanted to play it.
You can play it.
You're a little kid walking into the house. It's like, hey, you want me to exorcise this place? And they're like, yeah, I think there's demons here.
My toilet won't flush. Can you fix that? I'd say whatever to this kid, as long as he fixed my house problems.
Be like, yeah, that's how you exercise things with this plunger. This poor kid. But it's great because he's walking around and they're like, oh, a wild hippie appeared. And I'm like, it's a hippie. I better fight him. Let me use my psychic powers. This game looks great.
All right, maybe we'll give it a download.
I think we should.
Tons of Super Smash Bros. News. Massive downloadable content heading your way.
So, for the first time in Super Smash Bros. History, a character from the fighting game series Street Fighter joins the battle.
Ryu, based on his appearance in Street Fighter II, brings a new fighting style to the Super Smash Bros. Series.
Ryu's traditional light, medium, and heavy attacks vary depending on how long brokettes tap, press, or hold down the buttons.
$5.99 for each of the Wii U or 3DS versions, or $6.99 for both systems.
This purchase includes the Suzaku Castle stage from the Street Fighter series.
So I've played with the new characters. First one, Ryu here. Yes, it is a brand new mechanic for the Super Smash Bros. Series. You can still use the C-Stick if you want with Ryu, but that won't be as strong as an attack as if you were to use, for example, the Hadouken. You press the B button, that's your normal special attack for your characters. He says Hadouken, out comes the fireball. Now if you use the down quarter circle side, and then you hit the punch button, like you would in the old Street Fighter games, he does a stronger Hadouken. A stronger fireball that you cannot do if you use the B button or if you use the C-Stick.
So Goku goes around Kamehameha people.
It's not Goku, just because he shoots fireballs.
Goku. And he kind of wears the same Goku clothes.
It's not orange.
And he's got Goku hair almost.
A very short hair.
And he says things like Kamehameha.
I thought you were going to say Kamehameha Hadouken.
Oh man, that's even better.
If you know any of the combos for Ryu, it will be an advantage for you because you can do stronger attacks as the character. So that is very exciting. Again, it is out now on the Wii U and the 3DS.
Mm-hmm. Also, having been absent since Super Smash Bros. Melee, Roy from the Fire Emblem series returns to Smash with Nintendo's greatest.
This character will cost you a little bit less, doesn't come with the extra level.
Because he's not Goku.
$3.99 for each of the Wii U or 3DS versions, or $4.99 for both systems.
Not bad. You could just play as Chrom.
Chrom's not in it. He's only a special.
Nah, Chrom's in it.
You're thinking of Marth.
Nah, I'm pretty sure that's Chrom.
I did vote for Chrom.
Yes.
To be in Super Smash Bros. Over Batman.
Over Batman.
And then you voted for Batman,
yes.
So everything worked out. But another Fire Emblem character in the Smash Bros. Series. Mm-hmm. People bitched about that. They're like, great, more Fire Emblem characters. I'm like, I know, it's awesome.
Yeah. You know what? I say great, more Fire Emblem characters. Kelli, you don't even play Super...
Even Roy wasn't in Fire Emblem, the ones you played.
He was, I just didn't download him because he costs money.
Are you happy about Roy? You saw him play.
I mean, it should be Chrom. I'm not unhappy about Roy. I don't really know who Roy is. But people just need to stop complaining. You don't want him, don't buy him.
Simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, there were some sound files found on the latest update to Super Smash Bros. That pointed to Ryu and Roy joining the fight. That's where this news leaked from.
Mm-hmm.
They even actually unlocked the movies from when you defeat Classic Mode in the game for both Ryu and Roy, and people were like, yeah, they're definitely in this game.
See, I would have put those movies in and be like, nah, I'm not putting them in.
You would have put in a Batman movie.
Yes.
You would have put in a Pokemon trainer movie.
Yes.
A Goku one, a real Goku one.
A real Goku movie, yes.
Just to throw off the hackers.
I would have put in a Harvest Moon cow movie.
Shooting with its nipples like milk
they're
at it.
called udders.
Nipples.
These little cow nipples. Like he would have dived through the air going.
That would be a special.
His super smash is he squishes you with his cow body. Because really, what are you gonna do?
That's called the body slam.
Yes.
Only Snorlax does that.
Well, and so does the Harvest Moon cow.
There will also be new Mii Fighter costumes that will be added.
Akira and Jackie character Mii costumes from Virtua Fighter.
Mega Man.exe from Mega Man Battle Network.
Zero from Mega Man X.
The Inkling Girl and Boy from Splatoon.
And Isabelle from Animal Crossing can all be purchased as a bundle for $6 per version or $9.20 for both systems.
Kind of an odd price. This year just made it $9.
They need that 20 cents.
Apparently they do. I'm not huge on the Mii Fighters, but I know there's a lot of people out there that I know they're not going to put the Inkling Boy and Girl in the game, but this is a good substitute. Like, here you go, this is the costumes, you can customize the moves because they are Mii Fighters. Kind of a solution right there. That's one way, and they can quickly put out these characters that aren't actually in the game by just doing a skin swap, but doing it more creatively by using the Mii Fighters.
There's also a Miiverse stage exclusive to Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, which features Miiverse posts from around the world.
This is a free download, and I have played with that too. When I was playing with Greninja and I was fighting Roy, it actually gave you messages from the Smash boards about both characters, like, nerf Greninja, and it's like, why, you're getting your ass kicked by Greninja too much? Ninja Star.
Use my tongue scarf. This stage also has the best music ever.
What's it from?
It's from Rhythm Heaven, the one for the DS, and it's with the military birds. And they go, stretch out your neck, ooh, ah.
Peck your beak.
Meh, meh, meh.
There you go. You know it already by heart.
I do. I love that song. That was one of my favorite stages. The dun 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 dun, dun dun dun. That one was my favorite. I love that game.
And the sequel, the one that already came out in Japan this month, was absent at E3. It was also absent in Nintendo's schedule of releases till next year. It was not on that list.
I still have hope. Don't crush my dreams.
They need to bring that bitch out as a digital release.
Yeah, they do. It costs them nothing. Don't even translate it for me. I don't care. I can figure this shit out myself.
Figure out the menus somehow.
Yeah, whatever. I just click buttons till I start playing a game.
You probably would too.
Yeah, I would. I only need to listen. Listen to the music.
There will also be a tourney mode that will launch as an update this August.
Community Tourney lets players compete for the highest points in a set amount of time, while regular tourneys have specific set of rules that apply at select times.
There will also be YouTube replays that will come to the Wii U at a later date for free.
This is really smart, so players will be able to upload matches and replays straight to YouTube.
There will also be additional Super Smash Bros. Amiibos coming out later this year.
We have 3 Mii fighters, a Mii Brawler, Mii Sword Fighter, and Mii Gunner. Rob, Duck Hunter, and Mr. Game & Watch will be available in September.
Falco from the Star Fox series will arrive this holiday season. Out of all those, there won't be any that I'm going to get, although I know a couple of people that will be trying to get that Falco, and during the holiday season it'll make it a little bit more difficult, especially with that new Star Fox game being announced. I feel like all these Star Fox characters will start to sell. I myself am thinking of getting a Fox because I know that will unlock something when that game releases this year.
Well, and the Falco will probably unlock something.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll probably get like a Tippy Toad and a Flappy Ears Bunny Rabbit. That's her name, right?
Whatever the bonuses are, if they bring out specific amiibos just for that new Star Fox game, I will buy them. But more on that. Zelda games.
Yes, The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes.
Sharing the visual style from A Link Between Worlds,
Cool.
which came out on the 3DS. You completed it
Yes.
fully.
Loved it.
3 links team up to solve dungeons and defeat bosses.
This will release in fall of this year.
So a Zelda game for you on the handheld. What's the problem?
I gotta control other things. That's too much work for me. I like my games to be as simple as possible. Let me mash some buttons and walk in a circle.
This is a game that I feel like was built more as a multiplayer experience
Yes.
than it was as a single player component that focuses on how the player interacts with new mechanics in the Zelda franchise. And instead, it's going to require you to control the computer or try to team up with someone online. So it's not about Link yourself as a player anymore.
Right. This would be a great game if I had 2 other buddies and we got together during lunch 3 times a week and played for an hour to see how far we could get. Or even if you could link up via the internet and we could play from home. But I don't feel that it's going to work well with the computer being my buddy. I'm just going to get real pissed off.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I wasn't happy with this, and I think the single-player Zelda experience that we're going to get next will be the Wii U version that is supposedly coming out next year. And that's the one, you said you don't want to play because you like the handheld Zeldas more?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll give the Wii U one a shot because you haven't tried those yet.
I think this game will sell really well and make a lot of people really happy, but I'm just not one of those people. It'd be like if I had to do Pokemon on multiplayer.
Continuing on the 3DS titles, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer was announced.
This looks kind of fun. So, expanding options in home decorating for Animal Crossing, players can customize a home's roof, fence, and full interior.
A bundle will launch on September 25th that will include the game, 1 amiibo card, and an NFC reader for the Animal Crossing cards.
So, up to this point, I have not been interested in Animal Crossing at all. Ever. I like my Harvest Moon. I'm cool with Harvest Moon. But this trailer made it look really fun, and I kind of just want to decorate some places.
I think this is the game for you. Now keep in mind, they will come out with booster packs that have certain cards, and that will unlock the designs and the patterns and the items in the game.
So they're turning into Candy Crush. Or
Sort of.
Farmville.
Yeah, kind of.
That makes me sad. Now I don't want to play it anymore. But it looks so much fun because they're showing these, like, this lady walks into town. She's like, hey, your town's ugly. I'm going to fix it. It's pretty much what she said. And people are like, all right, let me give you money to fix my town. And, like, you just start decorating stuff. And, like, you're decorating yards and planting plants for them. And then you just take their money. And I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, why are you doing that? That looks ugly. don't be doing that. I could do this better than you. So now it was a challenge. But then you told me then I gotta spend more money for booster packs.
Here's one that you are absolutely going to buy. Day 1.
Yes.
Fire Emblem Fates. Official US title.
Fight an opposing force or join in and try to make change from within. For the first time in the series, players will make decisions that will affect the map's paths and story.
Coming out in 2016, so sometime next year.
Definitely be buying this, but only if you can fall in love. Can you fall in love?
I don't know yet. I don't know if you can fall in love. I don't know if you can create your own characters, but it is the same team as the last one.
Well, then hopefully you can fall in love, because here's what would happen. Game 1, I'm going to be the good guy. I would join the force and make change from within and meet my one true love. And we'll fall in love because I'm a good guy, and he's obviously a good guy. And then we'll be happy together forever. End of game. Game 2, I join the villains. I'm just destroying stuff, but I still have my one true love. It's always the same. But we still fall in love, even though I'm a villain. It's a whole Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. And then in the end, everything's okay, and we're still in love, and that's the end of the game. Game 3. I'll probably still be a villain, but I'll probably find a villain boyfriend, because sorry, one true love, you can come back in Game 4. And that's the only reason I play these games.
Don't get your hopes up for having your child and then having that child like team up with you later on.
I don't care about that.
Because I don't think we'll see time travel like we did in Awakening.
They were kind of way weird anyway. I was like, my kid's kind of ugly. Kid, you can't really do anything. But mom, mom.
Back up.
Go back to the future. That's fine. I just want to fall in love. That's all I want.
Would you buy Fire Emblem amiibos if they unlocked weapons or extra maps in the game?
Extra maps, yes. Weapons, probably not. Because I didn't really care about the weapons anyway. I'm just like, this, I can use this 30 times.
This is cheapest. I was the same way.
Not expensive. And then they're like, you can upgrade it with things. And I'm like, or I could just hit people with it and sell those things for more money. But Kelli, you're not even spending your money. But I have money in case I want to spend it.
Yeah, I played very, very much the same way. Cheapest steel, or not even steel, I think it was iron. Iron weapons, iron lances,
Did you
iron
iron
swords.
the whole time? I did eventually move up to silver.
I did not get, I did not get silver, I did not get steel.
When enemies dropped their weapons, I'm like, this is mine now.
Those I only saved for the bosses, and that was it.
No, I just used them all the time.
We play very differently.
Another game that I was not expecting, but I am pretty excited for, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
Coming out this holiday season.
I loved Mario Tennis for the N64. I used to play as Yoshi all the time, or Birdo, which I found out later was a man, but I thought I was playing as a girl. And I'd run around and... That's the noise that it made, by the way.
That's the running in between there?
Yes. And the... That's how they hit the ball. That was Yoshi's noise. So I was very excited when I first saw this, but then they kind of turned me off a little bit.
So they have added power-ups to the Mario Tennis mechanics.
Yeah, they're turning into giants.
And now they're doing... It's sort of what they did with Mario Super Strikers, which I really enjoyed. I like the specials. I like the items. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think you'll still like Mario Tennis.
Hopefully. I'd like to try and play it before I purchase it, if that's even a possibility.
You'd have to buy like a used copy, give it that 7-day trial, and then see if you like it. I don't think it's a $60 title, personally. No. The Mario Tennis games, I don't think have ever been worth that much. I agree.
I think this would have been smarter to put in a game where you had other things in there with it. Like other sports. So, yeah, maybe do Mario Strikers in there. So you can choose, you want to play soccer, you want to play tennis. I don't know, make Mario football.
Either way, it's bound to be a really good seller. They normally have the Olympic Games for the Mario titles. There's always something during the holiday season Mario-related. So it looks like this year you're going to have the Mario Maker for the Wii U, and as well as Mario Tennis, which I feel is going to be for younger gamers, whereas the Mario Maker is going to be for people my age who want to create like their own Mario stage and have the patience to do that. Although now with the kids in Minecraft and everything, it's probably going to be up their alley too.
So the last bit of Nintendo news that we want to talk about, not that important. Star Fox Zero.
We're not gonna gloss over it. It's Star Fox motherfucking Zero.
No. It's already done. I've moved on to the next point. Star Fox Zero. It's there. It's Star Fox.
Star Fox Zero Fox, Falco, Slippy, and Peppy are back in an all-new adventure.
So, Star Fox, Birdman, Skippy, and Floppy-Eared Rabbit are back.
That's not their names, and it's Fox and Cloud, and you know it. The game is not a remake, and it does not take place before or after any of the previous games. Not a remake, not a sequel, not a prequel. All new adventure, although it will take a lot of the lines and a lot of the levels from Star Fox 64.
Interesting. So our
We're not going to move forward. There's more to talk about in Star Fox Zero, because this is what I've been fucking waiting for. On the podcast months ago when we talked about E3 and what I wanted to see this year, Star Fox is what I talked about.
What about what I wanted to see this year, Dan?
Maybe we'll get it next year, but now is my time with Star Fox Zero.
So this game is co-developed by Bayonetta 2 director Yusuke Hashimoto.
Yusuke Hashimoto. There was a Star Fox level in Bayonetta 2.
That's pronounced Yusuke, sir. Did you not watch Yu Yu Hakusho?
Hell no, I didn't.
Okay, well that's pronounced Yusuke.
I've watched like 4 animes in my life.
This is the only time I have ever pronounced a name correctly.
Yusuke Hashimoto.
Thank you.
There was a Star Fox level in Bayonetta 2, and people suspected it was his like tryout to making a Star Fox game. I think it was more of him kind of hinting that this is what he was working on with Nintendo and Shigeru Miyamoto.
So players can control an R-Wing using traditional controls or the gamepad's gyro controls and screen.
I will go traditional all the way.
Of course.
Using a drop mechanic from the cancelled Star Fox 2 from the Super Nintendo, the R-Wing will include a walker transformation, a new gyro wing vehicle, and the return of the Landmaster.
Star Fox Zero will be a much more linear adventure, as the different branches of planets from Star Fox 64 will not be returning.
That was a bit of a letdown for me initially, because I'm so big on Star Fox 64, going back through the different planets and figuring out all the different secrets was part of the fun. But they did say that actually they meant for it to be where you can defeat a planet using the R-Wing, and then you can play it again using the Landmaster, and there's different paths when you play the different vehicles in those levels. So I thought that was smart, and that was great. No more on foot either. You're not going to see Fox coming out of his Landmaster like they did in Star Fox Assault, which I still enjoyed. I like all of the Star Fox games. But people wanted a more focused adventure on the vehicles, including myself, and that's the direction they're going in.
Could they make a terrible Star Fox game and he'd still be like, I love them all?
A lot of people would say Star Fox Adventures is that Star Fox game, and I liked it.
Does that sound like Sonic Adventures? Is that like the same thing?
It was actually a Legend of Zelda clone.
Huh.
Originally, it was a game called A Dinosaur Planet, which was supposed to come out on the N64. As it was getting close to the end of the 64's life cycle, Miyamoto said, put it on the GameCube. And these characters are already animals, so can you put my Star Fox characters in them? So they did.
How lazy. That's the laziest thing I've ever heard. So, speaking of Miyamoto, he has also confirmed that there will be a co-op mode where one player controlling the sky and the other attacking through land.
That's great too. My brother loves Star Fox as well, so that's a game that we can both play and defeat together.
I thought you wanted to play with me.
You want to play Star Fox?
Not really, because I'd be flying the R-Wing and you'd be like, Kelly, where are you? Help me. I'm like, I'm looking for the mall. I want to see if there's a Starbucks around here. Kelly, it's not that kind of game. Well, let me go plant some crops.
Can I decorate my R-Wing?
I don't like the white. Can I make it like green?
That's what you would do.
Can I add some flowers? Kelly, that's not the game we're playing. I'm gonna go take pictures of some Pokemon.
So now we can talk about E3 2015 overall, our thoughts. Obviously, there's way more games that got announced at E3, but with the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, we mainly cover the things that we played, the things that we have talked to Brokettes about in the past, and the biggest one for me this year was Star Fox Zero. That is what Nintendo opened with. I could have just closed the stream at that point right after that news was done. Like, I don't need to know what else is coming. I got my Star Fox. I'm happy.
You could have died then and you would have been happy.
Oh, no, I still need to play it. What about you? I know you wanted your Pokemon. You wanted anything Pokemon.
Yes. I think while they announced a lot of very wonderful things that will please a lot of people, none of it was for me. Which is what it is. I'm selective in my games. I like fun games where I can button mash and or Pokemon games and or games where you fall in love. And that wasn't, aside from I got Kingdom Hearts, but we knew that was coming.
But you still got it.
But
they could have not shown anything.
Exactly. And I got Fire Emblem, which again I knew it was coming. Beyond that,
We want to hear your thoughts, Broquettes, about E3 2015. Was there a certain game or a certain title you were most excited for, and why? Go and answer it by getting to us at Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke or on Facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke. We'll share the answers on the next episode.
moving on to some game news that is actually really, really close. I'm amazed that this happened so close to this game's release. Retailers across the US, Europe, and Australia were informed earlier this week that the Batman Arkham Knight Batmobile Edition was canceled.
Someone fucked up somewhere.
Yeah.
This edition originally included a copy of the game, digital skins for Batman, an art book, a comic book, and a transformable statue of Arkham Knight's Batmobile.
Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment was not satisfied with the quality of the Batmobile statue as it came out of production line as created by Project Triforce, so they decided not to deliver the substandard product.
Broquettes who ordered the Arkham Knight Batmobile Edition have gotten a refund and can now buy the standard version of the game or the regular collector's edition, which included a Batman memorial statue.
People are pissed.
Oh, they are mad. I saw a couple of comments, I'm never buying anything from Warner Brothers again. So they found the product that was shitty and they said, no, we're not going to sell that to our customers, and you're upset.
Mm-hmm.
Project Triforce is the company they went with, which I think also made the Arkham City Collector's Edition, or the Arkham Origins ones. I think it was the Arkham Origins ones. And those were, they kind of looked like plastic. They weren't really statues.
Right.
But if they had released the Batmobile as it was, and people had spent the $150 or whatever it ended up being, they would have been, I think, even more upset then, because they would have wasted their money on that.
So here's what would have happened. So we had that kid who just said, I'm never buying anything Warner Brothers again, right? That was his quote. We'll say that was his quote. So, in an alternate reality, they release this, and he purchases it, and he opens it, and he says, I'm never buying anything from Warner Brothers again.
Except they're a little bit poorer.
Yes, except he has no money to buy anything from Warner Brothers anyway.
That's what he meant.
Yes. So, except the statue was shitty too. So, I think this is a very smart move on Warner Brothers. They obviously took a big hit financially. So close. I mean, I'm sure all the comics were printed and, most of the stuff was already put together. And they said, you know what? No, scrap it.
Project Triforce is not going to get work from Warner Brothers anymore.
Right.
That's for sure. I think they can still include all that bonus stuff in other promotional material that they do. They can sell it separately. They can give it away as part of the midnight launches as like a we're sorry. Whatever it is, I think people should just be happy that they didn't have to wait until they opened up the box and got the shittier statue.
And went,
We're going to be there. I'm going to be there for the midnight release next Tuesday. I'm really excited for Arkham Knight either way. What's important is the game. Not how good the statue works or how it looks or even if you have it at all. How's the experience going to be? We're going to find out next week. They're 2 for 2 so far. Let's make it 3 for 3 on Batman.
So that does actually wrap up our video game news. We can now move into our DC's September solicitations.
Once again, huge on news. We will get to comics, I promise.
Eventually.
The solicitations were released, and here are some of the highlights. To view the full list, you can head on over to newsarama.com. Secret 6, written by Gail Simone, will have Dale Eaglesham as the artist, as we saw this month and this week.
Issue number 6 is coming 10 months after issue number 1, thanks to delays and DC's 2-month convergence event.
So it looks like they did fire the older artist. They brought on Dale Eaglesham, who did work on Sinestro for the first 4 issues, I believe. DC will not have a September event for the first time in 4 years.
Previous events have included Zero Month, Villains Month, Futures End, and 2011's New 52 reboot.
I think it was Futures End 3D covers was a bit of a flop compared to what they did with Villains Month, which was huge. I don't think it was so much people were tired of the September events because people are looking forward to what they do every September.
Right.
But it didn't sell as well as they did with the previous ones, and people weren't as excited, including ourselves, because of the way they did the 3D covers. They didn't look as good. A lot of them had that weird border on them, which took away from the actual picture. And I can tell you for sure from the comic shop, we don't sell those nearly as often as we do even now the Villain Month 3D covers. People still look for those. They don't care as much about the Futures End stuff.
Wow. So we also have some Bruce Wayne news. He has still not returned to the Bat family as Batman.
September, I mean, that's only 3-4 months of Gordon as Batman. That's not enough. I think we're gonna get at least a year of the new Batman.
I wouldn't say a year. I think we're gonna get 8 months.
Although there won't be the return of Bruce Wayne Batman, so real Batman, Grayson will be returning to Gotham.
Oh, people aren't paying attention to me anymore. Let me go back to Gotham.
He's gonna be Nightwing now. Robin's gonna go back to being Nightwing.
Okay, Robin. No, I'm Nightwing. No, you're Robin.
I'm Grayson.
We also have a Scooby-Doo team-up, number 12. We're very excited for this. It's written by Sholly Fish with art by Dario Brizuela.
We normally don't get the Scooby-Doo team-up titles, even though Batman has appeared in the past in the series, but the solicitation is what's getting us to get number 12.
Mm-hmm. The synopsis is, an urgent cry for help sends Scooby-Doo and the gang rushing to Gotham City. But the call was made by Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. They stole an ancient relic, and now they're sure it was cursed. Our heroes have to join Harley and Ivy to get to the bottom of the mystery. And with a little help from Batgirl, they just might capture the villains too.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Speaking of Harley Quinn, there's a new DC Icon statue based on the lovable Jester.
This is sculpted by Eric Sosa. It stands at 9.75 inches tall and is limited to 5,200.
This one will be $100, coming out December 2015, just in time for the holidays.
I do really like this statue. You get to see floppy-eared Harley, but it's done very well. Absolutely beautiful, but unfortunately, I'm broke.
Yes, we are broke. It is classic Harley, and right now they're only showing us the digital rendition of the statue, so we don't yet know what the actual statue itself.
It's gonna be pretty.
It might be pretty. I think we'll wait till the solicitation on the actual previews magazine and hope that they show something there.
We also have Batman Mask of the Phantasm Batman and the Phantasm action figure 2-pack.
They are 6 inches tall, coming in at $45 for the pack. Releasing January 2016.
Back in my day, you got each of them for $5.99.
Yeah, but we have inflation, and these come with way more accessories than the ones that we came with.
You get to change out their hands.
They're much bigger, more detailed.
Okay, but let me ask you, can you take the Phantasm's mask off and have Andrea Beaumont?
You
underneath?
Cannot.
Spoilers.
I believe.
Sorry.
No, I don't think you can.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with my original childhood.
And while September itself did not have a month-long event, by popular demand, DC is bringing back Batman Day for Saturday, September 26th.
Fans everywhere are invited to celebrate all things Batman, from the comic books to the video games, at thousands of comic book shops, libraries, bookstores, and other partners participating for the event.
DC's biggest talent will be available for meet and greets at certain locations to be announced at a later date.
There will be retail and digital promotion tie-ins to celebrate the Caped Crusader.
Last year's Batman Day was okay. It wasn't anywhere near as big as, say, the Halloween event is, or Free Comic Book Day even. But with this being on a Saturday, I think that gives everyone a chance to really get a bunch of local cosplayers, maybe some local artists to come to their shop, and make it something close to as excitement that you can to Free Comic Book Day. That's the big event for comic shops.
Can I request what artists I want at my shop?
What would the dream artist list for Kelli be at your artist shop?
Oh man, how many can I choose?
You can choose 5.
5, okay. Jimmy and Amanda, they come as one, because they're a couple.
And that's from the Harley Quinn series.
Yes. You have Dustin Nguyen.
Of course, from Lil Gotham and Descender.
Yes. Ty Templeton.
He's worked on Batman 66 and Batman Adventures.
Yes. Bruce Timm.
Of course. The designer to Harley Quinn in the animated series.
Yes. And
I'll pick the last one, Neil Adams, just so I can...
No, I don't want Neil Adams.
Just so I can pick something and say $20?
He wasn't even close to my list. I'm stuck between Jim Lee and Paul Dini.
Paul Dini's not an artist.
He's an artist with his words, Dan.
Jim Lee is your answer.
Fine, Jim Lee.
Big artist, huge
No.
on Hush.
Now, Paul Dini did draw that original sketch of Harley.
If you want to count that, then choose Paul Dini then, not Jim Lee.
I choose Jim Lee now. Fine.
You are a contrarian.
But I'm not choosing Neil Adams because he's smelly and he created Talia.
And Ra's al Ghul.
And he's smelly.
And Man-Bat.
And he's old and he's cranky. And I don't like him.
He's allowed to be cranky. He created Ra's, Talia, and Man-Bat, so leave him alone.
Yeah, and if he hadn't created Talia, he'd be way happier because then Batman would just be with Catwoman and not have none of this nonsense going on.
Before we move into our comics for the week, we do want to remind Brokettes that there is 1 week left on our review contest giveaway.
The way you can enter this contest is go to any of our social media sites. The way you can enter this contest is go to either iTunes or Stitcher and leave us a review, a good review, saying how fabulous you think we are. You need to take a screen cap of that and send it to us, and you will be entered into our contest.
Send it to us on Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke, Facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke, or on Instagram.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke.
And we do have a lot of fabulous prizes that we're giving away.
Last week we said that we had some bonuses coming. We started off with just the decal, and thanks to Blue Juice Comics, we've got a plethora of books coming to the winners. 3 winners we're going to choose next week. So by June 25th, you have to have entered your review because we will actually choose the winners on the air here on the podcast. And then I will contact you for the shipping information. What are the prizes? Nerd Up Media decals, the first one. Bonuses now.
We have Anne Bonny, issues number 1 through 4.
And extra copies of number 4, which is the latest one. We reviewed it last week. That's actually the one that also features the panel with the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, the old logo
so
we had.
Cool.
There's also Dudley and the Toy Keeper's Chest. It's actually a hardcover children's book, also from Blue Juice Comics.
We also have the Accelerators, number 1.
The entire first run from the Accelerators, another book that we reviewed as it came out every couple of months.
And finally, the Accelerators, volume 1.
There you go. Multiple copies of the Anne Bonny. We got the Accelerators, the volume, and the first issue, first printing, hardcover book, and decals. Once again, to enter, leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, send us that screen cap, you enter. If you leave us a review on iTunes, if you leave us a review on Stitcher, that's 1 entry per place that you review. Send the screenshots to us, I will retweet it, I'll send it out to everyone as well, and it gets you entered for each one of those. You may only win once, but that doubles your chances at having your name picked.
So that does actually do it for our news this week. So much news, but it was all fabulous. And now we can move into our comic book pool list.
2 indie titles. First one being Giant Days number 4, now of 12, not of 6. Written by John Allison, art by Lisa Treyman, colors by Whitney Kogar.
This book continues to make me so happy. It is so much fun. The characters are so likable. And I'm so happy that this got extended to 12 issues.
We're starting to explore more from what happened with, I think, would be our main character and her relationship with the past guy that she was mad at and upset about.
The mustached man.
Exactly. And what they did during their childhood that led them up to this point in which they're now in college and they're upset and they're bitter. But they're kind of getting back together. At the same time, her friends are exploring their feelings and living a little bit, getting into trouble. And you're kind of growing with them as they experience their year in college.
Right, and I absolutely love it. It mainly focuses, and I'm so bad with names, I don't remember their name, but the redhead, and how she's now off at college, off on her own, and starting to think, maybe I like girls. And we get to see her develop and grow into that understanding of herself, which I think they handled very well. And there's very realistic relationships between all of these characters. And it's just so much fun. It's such a fun book.
When you think they're setting it up for a typical relationship from someone that is coming out of the closet, the book turns right around and says, no, it doesn't work that way all the time. People have their hearts broken before it's even given to you.
This is life.
Excellent series, Giant Days. Check it out if you haven't yet.
Our next book is Lumberjanes number 15. This is written by Shannon Waters and Noelle Stevenson, with art by Brooke Allen, and the colorist is Marta Laihow.
This is establishing itself as being my favorite arc so far in the Lumberjanes series.
I agree.
We're seeing the older Lumberjanes and how one of them has become jaded over what they do, and we're going to find out next month what they're being trained for, because we don't know yet. We're seeing more mythical beasts that we saw in the previous arcs. We're getting to understand why the villain is the way she is, and how you can sort of see, okay, maybe she might be right about some things, and how the Lumberjanes are there for her friend, even though she doesn't know it yet. It's all there, and it's coming to be an excellent, excellent arc in the Lumberjane series.
Mm-hmm. The only problem I had with this book is they reference that old arc with, like, Apollo and Artemis, and I was just like, that didn't exist, guys. Just pretend that didn't happen. But definitely enjoyed this issue. I think I enjoyed it as much as I liked the last one, so...
Is this your favorite arc as well, so far?
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
On to the DC Comics. We've got 2, 4, 6 titles that we're going to review today. First one being a brand new #1 series debut, and that is Black Canary #1, written by Brendan Fletcher, who also writes Batgirl, art by Annie Wu, who did Batgirl Beyond, back with Batman Beyond Unlimited, and colors by Lee Luffridge.
So, like you said, brand new #1, brand new take on Black Canary. What were your thoughts?
We saw her in the Batgirl series. That's where we were first introduced to this brand new Batgirl, or Black Canary. And I feel like this is a better version of Spider-Gwen. Both characters are in a band. Both characters have very similar art styles, too. But this one is her including the secondary characters more than the Spider-Gwen series did. And this is only the first issue so far. I care more about Spider-Gwen than I do Black Canary, but that's now shifting with this first issue. It's just more refined, better paced, better art, in my opinion, and the writing so far has been very solid. It's not my pick of the week, but it is a great start.
This is actually my pass of the week.
I did not expect that.
Yes. Because this book did nothing to make me care about any of these characters.
Not even Black Canary?
Nope. Did not care. Oh, she's got a troubled past, so she destroys things. Troubled past.
I cared about the young girl that is being chased by her demon family, and...
Why?
We're gonna find out, and then you gotta continue reading.
Why did you care about her?
Because she is hiding among this band, this friends, and she doesn't want them to know about her as well, so that's something that connects her with Black Canary. So as you connect with Black Canary, you're also connecting about this girl, and that's where I made that connection as well. The other ones, I feel like they're fun, and one of them is selling t-shirts, one of them's a band member, but the one that plays the guitar without I think she plays with magic, essentially, and not with actual electronics, just plays the guitar. I thought that was awesome, and the fact that Black Canary is going to have to be like a older sister character to this young girl, I think that's interesting, and it could go in a very good direction when we move forward with the next couple of issues.
We'll have to see. They did not hook me with this first one. They're going to have to try really hard to hook me with the second. Our next book is Harley Quinn and Power Girl, #1 of 6. This is written by Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Justin Gray, with art by Stephanie Rue, and the colorist is Paul Mounts.
This was an okay issue. I felt it was a little disjointed at times as they went from like meeting this little elf guy to like, oh, now they're fighting these monsters and now they're fighting these aliens. It was a little bit all over the place, and I feel like that is Harley Quinn. But for something with Harley Quinn and Power Girl, in which they could have taken their time to explore a little bit more on this adventure that came as an offshoot from earlier issues of Harley Quinn, I felt it could have slowed down just a little bit. But it is a Harley Quinn book, so I kind of come to expect it.
We are all over the place this week. This is my pick of the week.
Oh, let the Brokettes know.
I thought it was hilarious. We open with them falling out of this portal, and there's this, like, little alien guy there, and they're like, who's this Hobbit? And he turns around, and he's like, I'm the sexiest motherfucking being in the world. And they're like, oh, whoa. Yeah, no, none of this. And he made so many sexual jokes at them. And he was hilarious. And then they find the spaceship, and they really, in this book, got to tie in all, like, the multiverses, and actually kind of make fun of it a little bit. This whole thing that they made them do with Convergence, and they get to the spaceship and it opens up for them because it's Power Girl, and it's like, welcome back to your love nest. So we get to this other planet, and the characters that they created are just, they're going to be so much fun because it's wacky and it's so out there, and it's pretty much a planet of like disco people, and I'm like, yeah, let's get our groove back.
I still really like the book. It was very funny. It was enjoyable. Not near my pass of the week. I don't think I have one this week. But it had little issues like that again. But it's your pick of the week.
Yep, very, very funny. I think it surprised me, too, because I was expecting it to be more like the Harley Quinn book. But I feel for me, it's better than that book. It made me laugh a lot more than the actual series has recently.
going back to the point about meeting the different Harley Quinns, I hope there's an arc coming up in which Harley Quinn does meet the animated series Harley, the Arkham Harley, the Injustice
wonderful.
Harley. That would be great, just to see them all interact. Even the movie Harley. Put in the fucking Suicide Squad movie Harley Quinn in there, if you can. I'm sure they can.
They'll find a way to make it work.
Even with the solicitation for Harley Quinn in the September ones, if you go to Newsarama, you can check it out. The cover on that has her with a bat, a bunch of glitter on it. And I'm like, that is definitely a reference to the movie Harley Quinn that they're going with. Next we have Robin, Son of Batman, #1. Another ongoing debut for DC, part of this new line of titles. Writing and pencils by Pat Gleason, colors by John Kalis.
Is this your pick of the week?
It is not my pick of the week.
Really? I'm surprised. I thought that it would be.
It's a very good issue. It focuses a lot on the Al Ghuls. It focuses on Damian's past. And the difference, and this is why he's my favorite Robin, he's not shitty about it. He's not whining and like, my past, they made me kill these people like Red Hood or whatever. Instead, he's like my father, I have to deal with it. This is my boat. I'm going to sail with it and I'm going to confront it. I'm not just going to wallow in my pain and my misery and the fact that he's like, no, I used to kill people and I used to think that was the thing I have to do. My father showed me that there is justice. This is how you handle criminals. And I've grown with that and this is who I am now. But I do have to deal with the fact that I do have a past. And he handles it like an adult and it's great. The reason it's not my pick of the week is I don't think it's as good as when Pat Gleason and Peter J. Tomasi worked on the Batman and Robin series. That I felt was a little bit more heartfelt, and it said so much in so little words. Whereas I feel like Pat Gleason, who is the artist and the writer now, is using a bit of dialogue and not letting his artwork tell the story, which is what Peter J. Tomasi was letting happen. But this is only the first issue. It could just be that he's establishing what the tone of the story will be, where his first adventure will start, and Goliath, being one of my favorite all-new characters in the series, absolutely great.
Our next book is Secret Six, #3, finally. This is written by Gail Simone with art by Dale Eaglesham, and the colorist is Jason Wright.
All over Twitter, this issue, and I'm glad, because I feel like all those delays can and will hurt Secret Six. But #3, if you missed out on 1 and 2, which some people did, and I see some of my regulars ordering the first 2 issues to try to catch up, 3 kind of, even though we haven't read it in months, I wasn't lost. I felt like a story could have started here.
Right.
Like, here's the Secret Six. They got drunk and they all had sex together.
On the couch.
And now they're living in the suburbs. And now they're dealing with assholes in the suburbs. Like, that is it. And there's a huge fan base now for Strix, which is one of your favorites.
Yep.
And Gail Simone continues to develop her, and I hope she continues on that. Because Strix is such a warm character that you can really do a lot with. And then Catman. Catman had a huge following with this issue. Like, girls liked him because they thought he looked sexy. They liked his costume. And he's just overall a very cool character who cares about animals, even though a dog is one of his least favorites. He's like, fuck that, you're not going to fucking hit a dog. Like, there's a lot that happens here, and it all centers on Catman and Strix.
Right, I really, really enjoyed this issue. You know, like we said, there was a huge delay, but I don't feel that it minimized how much I care about each of these characters. Like, even characters that I don't even know anything about, I'm like, oh, I like this character. And, you know, that's a tribute to Gail. She makes you like anybody.
Very true. So great start on Secret Six. As long as they stay on schedule, they can continue to build that steam and move forward. Next is Sinestro #12, written by Cullen Bunn, art by Brad Walker, colors by Jason Wright.
This is your pick of the week.
It is my pick of the week.
Yes! This is Sinestro being cocky, doing his Sinestro thing, and people not liking it.
Alright, slight spoilers on this one. He's got his people with him, who he thought were completely gone. We read that in the first trade in the first arc of Sinestro. Very important to him, because they hate him, and he only wants to save them. And they think, no, when you were our ruler, you ruled us with fear, with an iron fist. You hurt us. We feared you. And he's like, yeah, but our planet was safe, and it was in order, and you guys were fine. And now he wants to continue to protect these people that hate him and fear him and don't like him at all. And they're in danger. And his daughter's like, we need to get them the fuck out of here. And he's like, no, not going to happen. We're going to keep them here because I'm not going to let that fucking bomb explode. And you get to this portion right after that argument when you get into the heart of Sinestro, which you don't do so often. And you get to understand why he doesn't want to let these people go. And what that would mean to himself and how they viewed him. Even though they hate him, there's a confidence in him that they have. and they can see that, and that they trust, and even though they don't like him, that's important to Sinestro. That is what will drive him to possibly lose it all, including his daughter.
And we know he's not going to lose it all. It'll all be okay.
Because he's fucking Sinestro, and that's why I love the Sinestro series. Like, Cullen Bunn is writing him exactly like Jeff Johns used to. Mm-hmm. Excellent issue. What do you think?
I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of back and forth in this for me. Like, I'm going to do this. You shouldn't do this. I'm going to go do this. You shouldn't do this.
Well, that's where the betrayals were coming. Like,
right.
She had to be pushed far enough to where she's not going to convince her dad to do what would be right thing.
I think I'm really, really going to like the next issue, but I feel like this one was a little too much set up for me. But I think, it was still a great issue. I still love Sinestro. He's still written very well and very true. But I'd like to see different things happen with his daughter. Because I thought they were getting to a good place, and now I feel like we've kind of taken a few steps back.
With conflict, that will happen, and maybe they'll grow even closer together as we move forward in the series. Last book in the reviews for The Reasons I'm Broke this week is Teen Titans Go number 12.
This is written by Shali Fish and Amy Wolfram, with art by Jorge Corona and Dario Bruzella, and the colorist is Jeremy Lawson.
2 mini stories in this issue, as it is typical for the kids' books and for Teen Titans Go. First one being Beast Boy, who purchases a couple of 3D glasses he bought from a comic book, which we used to see in the 70s, 60s.
Right.
And that actually do work, and that's where you see the shenanigans.
It was really funny. He's making all, of course, his different teammates do different things, like dance the disco in their underwear, or pretend they're a chicken. And of course we get to Raven, and hilarity ensues.
And the second story was them fighting each other on a pizza planet over the final piece of pizza. So again, it is very reminiscent to the show, very much like the cartoon. If you like the cartoon, you'll like the series.
Yep, very light, great for kids. I definitely recommend it.
Consistently sells at the comic shop. Anytime it's still in print, I try to get more for the shop, and it always sells. Kids love that comic. Kids love the Teen Titans. If you grew up on the original show and you feel it's too much of a departure, just know that the characters do continue and they will live on through a new generation, even though it's not exactly like yours. Not people. This is where people are like, "Oh, it's not as serious as the other ones," but then they're saying that comics shouldn't be so serious.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Enjoy it if it's fun. Enjoy the story. Enjoy the characters. Everything will be fine. And with that, Brokettes, we can go ahead and close up our wallets, put away those credit cards, because that will do it for the podcast this week. We've spent enough money.
Just to reiterate, my pick of the week was Harley Quinn and Power Girl, number 1 of 6.
And my pick of the week was Sinestro, number 12.
And my pass of the week was Black Canary, number 1.
And I did not have a pass of the week. Don't forget about the contest, Brokettes. You've got 1 week left for the giveaway. Again, Anne Bonny comic books. That is you. That is Kelli.
Kelli is a pirate.
Kelli is a pirate. If you want, by special request, she will sign the cover of Kelli as a pirate.
I will, and I'm going to sign it. I'm a pirate, yo.
If you want, she will do that. And that.
If you don't want, I'm still doing that.
So signed comics coming your way if you want. Screenshot us a review, Stitcher, iTunes, send it our way. You will be entered. We're going to draw the names next week on the podcast. So again, you do have until Thursday to submit those reviews.
And while you're sending us those reviews screenshots, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke, or you can head over to Facebook, facebook.com/The Reasons I'm Broke.
And while you're at it, you can check out the rest of our shows on the Nerd Up Media Network. We have other Let's Plays on there like the Lazy Gaming Guys, other podcasts like those two jerks, and other comic book reviews like The Read Pile.
And one of the great ways you can support us is actually going to nerdupmedia.com/shop. And for a donation of just $16.99, you can have your very own Nerd Up Media shirt.
They come in pink, black, blue, red, and gray.
They come in both men's and women's sizes, so you can get the one that fits you best.
Thank you so much, Brokettes, for following and listening every week, interacting with all of you. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelli.
We'll see you next week.